How's it going, Tim?
How's it going?
Bad. Not too bad at all. Enjoying Tuesday.
Tuesdays are better than Mondays. I'm not a Monday fan.
Me neither. Me neither. So Mondays get fun. But
And they
yes,
keep happening, and that's a good thing, I guess, as opposed to not.
yeah. Good job.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, Tim.
John.
Hey.
Seems like I just saw you, John. Got to stop meeting like this.
I know. It's between this and the CNCF, I feel like I work more with people and some of these groups than I do with folks at VMware.
Yep. Yeah, so you guys will be fun for you guys to know that I was at VMware exactly a year and a month ago. I was there. A year and a month ago, I just left. Yeah, sat in VMware the internal audit, there. People didn't want to talk to me much.
In some regards, I mean, I don't know for sure, John, you would say this, but I think our roles are sometimes that way. I know I feel like when I ping people, I can just imagine they're going like, oh crap, what does Tim want now?
Yeah, I kept trying to tell. I was fun. I didn't make my job wasn't difficult. Everybody thought I was coming in there and I was laying hand. No, I wasn't. I was an advisor at best. I didn't. God, to get people to talk to me was like pulling teeth. But once they did, they were like, "Oh, this wasn't that bad." Like, no, it's not. It's not that bad. I'm good. One of the good ones. Me. Yeah. Oh, God. All right. Well, we got we're almost actually no, we'll start at 5 after. Give a couple people a couple minutes more to join. Our agenda is pretty small. We do have a couple of things we want to put out outside the agenda, but the agenda items for what they are is pretty small for the day, and then guess have an open discussion on where we see things with the framework, etc. So we'll do that. We have a pretty tight things will actually start heating up a little bit after Open Summit. Adrian's got a talk or two coming up over the next month. I'll be at Open Summit with the framework. After that, we'll both be digging in a little bit deeper, especially when it comes to the training that's being developed. And then we'll be putting together that explanatory report so that we could begin marching towards the actual ISO spec route that we talked about way dead in the beginning in the summertime. So we have all of that kind of stuff heating up that would start taking shape here pretty shortly. So yeah, that's exciting times. Things are going to be moving very, very, very fast. So that being the case, once again, I'll pop the agenda document right here for anyone who doesn't have it. Do we have anyone new? Sanket, I can't remember. Were you on the last meeting? And I hope I did pronounce your name correctly.
There were briefly two Sankets. There's a note taker, but there was what looked like a human. Like, I'm not sure if that's a bot. Scribing.
Oh yeah, and if anyone can take notes, that would be greatly appreciated too. My fingers don't move that fast anymore. The running joke here is I use Nuance's Dragon Naturally Speaking to type any paper I want to write. I kind of use my four fingers and a thumb.
Yeah.
You guys would have loved me in software engineering school. You used to love me there. Which is the reason why I'm not a software engineer today. Okay, so there that goes. We did that, we finished that, and quickly decided that that was not the move. All
I can
right.
be the scribe. I'm good with that.
And I can contribute there too. I guess
Excellent.
I'm
Thanks.
maybe new. I feel like I've been to a meeting before in the past here. Maybe it was before it was a SIG. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Tim, you're not new anywhere, man. Cut it out. You're not new anywhere, Tim.
Well, I'm showing up a little more often because one of my coworkers left VMware recently, and I'm filling in some slack there and running out in some of my activities around OpenSSF related things. And we've got an interest in the S2C2F. So that's me.
Excellent. Perfect. And I love hearing that. How's Manish doing?
He's leading security stuff. Yeah.
Tim, I also think you and I have met in person before, which is
I
always
believe so.
cool.
Yeah.
Manish knows me by my full name. He knows me by Jatal, so send my best to him. You know, he'll say, "Oh, really? He's there?" He kills the thorn in his backside. All right, good deal. So let's get into it. Once again, thank you all for attending. You'll see the meeting notes there, and you'll see the agenda items. So the first one on there is we're adding a new category to the guide for security tools. Adrian, speak a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so as part of this SIG strategy, and I'll throw the strategy doc into the chat. When I wrote the strategy doc, we tried to think about like the OpenSSF as one big team, and like what are all the other parts of OpenSSF that we should plug into so that we tell like a consistent story and you know, leverage each other's work and all that sort of thing. So we started investigating all the different working groups and things that they have. When we first published our framework, the S2C2F framework, we have an implementation guide section. And in that implementation guide, we recommend example tools. And one of the feedback that we got when we were joining the OpenSSF was that we should keep like recommended tools all in one place. And so this was me like finally like listening to that feedback and finally saying like, okay, well, I would love to contribute to your guide to security tools document. When I reviewed that document, it didn't include tools, a category of tools that help you update your open source and help you maintain good hygiene there. So this is like tools like Dependabot, and I think there's another one out there called RenovateBot, or yeah. And then, you know, other tools that, you know, put OSS vulnerabilities as comments and pull requests. That way, if somebody's trying to introduce a new dependency that's already vulnerable, it gets caught during the peer review process. Those are both really, really helpful tools that help developer teams and everybody else patch faster and stay current, which is just necessary if we're going to try to patch faster than the adversary can operate. So they reviewed it today in their security tools working group meeting. They said just submit a pull request and ping them when the pull request is ready.
Nice.
There was something that went by in that meeting. So like, I mean, it was like 4 hours ago, that working group. I'm not sure if it was Brian Behlendorf or David Wheeler, somebody on the call sort of said they're trying to keep a philosophy of keeping tools and something separate. And the audio was slightly glitched right during that sentence, and I didn't catch that. But do you recall anything about that? And it didn't hit in the minutes either.
That's not ringing a bell. I remember Alan Friedman asking, what if tools get better? And I remember I remember them answering like, that's okay. Like the guide to security tools is all about just capturing the category of tools that exist. And if they get better, they get better. That's great, you know. But I don't remember him mentioning anything specific there.
Maybe that's what it was. Like the abstracting the categories as opposed to recommendations or preferences. We're keeping the landscape open for people to innovate or collaborate or whatever, that it's not a prescript, that it doesn't read prescriptively, that it's more about categories and opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part, I hope that's the case, because I keep hearing this floating thing about a Sterling tool chain, which is kind of ruffling my feathers. It's ruffling feathers. Okay, I keep hearing that, so I hope that's the case and not the latter. All right. Cool. Next thing we have cooking on our agenda. On our agenda is the RSA slides. So we have so Adrian has finalized his RSA slides. I did give some feedback to that earlier, but the slides look amazing, man. I mean, like, we get a chance to really talk about the framework in total, you know, highlighting the work that we're doing here in this SIG. So, you know, I mean, just this great work here is going to be broadcast along with the actual piece, which is amazing. So I'll let Adrian talk more about that. And I'm actually excited about this, believe it or not. Really excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, we're introducing it early. So I got a chance to submit draft slides to RSA, and they have reviewers that give you feedback. So I got feedback that they were like, we want to see the whole framework. Don't just highlight specific points, like go through the whole thing. And so I elaborated on all the requirements and showed them on what maturity level they are, and you know, gave pictures, you know, to try to convey the meaning and the intent behind the 8 different practices. And you know, we're continuing along the you know, how we're messaging the S2C2F as it pairs well with salsa. So like salsa is, you know, the producer line, and S2C2F is like for the consumption part. And so we've got that messaging, and then we just start diving into all the various 8 different practices and all the requirements that are embedded within each practice. And you know, one of the areas that I'm going to be talking about is giving an example of like identifying an insecure package source file. And a package source file is, you know, if you're consuming NuGet, it's a NuGet.config. npm, it's a .npmrc file. Python, it's a pip.conf. So I'm giving an example of like how to identify, because this is really important for when you think about an organization or just a large development team, establishing like an approved ingestion channel. Like all open source we consume needs to be consumed in this way, so that our security tools can see all the open source we're ingesting. And because one of the problems that the industry faces is developers are very creative at ways to bring in new open source dependencies into a software product. And if there's no consistency with how developers are bringing in open source, then it's possible that our security tools are not catching them. You know, you're not receiving those vulnerability alerts if your tools aren't detecting the way that you're bringing it in. And so, you know, I'm trying to identify that there needs to be this focus on ingestion, that everybody should be starting with ingestion. and then I move on through the other practices. So yeah, I think it's going to be good. We are highlighting some example tools, and they are by no means like a comprehensive list of tools. It's just, we wanted to point people at like a tool that is kind of like well known, so that they understand and it resonates. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this is going to, drive awareness of the S2C2F as a whole, and get more participation going on in our community meetings here, and yeah, I think it's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do now is take a look here. Once again, we've got 5 issues that have sprung up. Show the screen here. We may want to talk about these as well, or at least have a good look at them real quick. So you see here, so we got these 5 issues that showed up here. We talked last time, and David, we walked through these last 4, but this last one seems to have popped up 5 hours ago, right? We can take a look at this one real quick. I'm not sure what he's referring about there. I don't want to click that link. It opened up outside the screen.
Yeah.
And I gotta do a whole bunch of other stuff. But this seems like something that we need to take and bust down offline, because he's referencing one of the controls here, which is something that we want to look at a little bit.
Yeah.
Look at it a little deeper.
Okay, that's good feedback. Yeah, we can take that, review it, and respond. That one just popped up today.
Mhm. I mean, it's real good feedback. I mean, that's what we need, right? That's what we're looking for. So I'm actually happy to see it. This might take a little bit more time than we have the time. We have 45 minutes if we want to sit here and chase this down, but this may be something that we can generally take offline. What says the group here?
I was actually, this just gave me a light bulb, and I was actually gonna share something else. I didn't think about this as something we should talk about in the agenda, but I think it should be. I'm gonna throw this link in the chat here. This was a recent article published by Checksmarks about new attack vectors.
Mhm.
So this is something that, like, this group should add to our list of known threats and see if we need to create a new requirement, or if our existing requirements mitigate against this type of threat. I haven't read it full front to back, but I think the thing that's new here is that they are masquerading as a well-known author. Rather than just typo squatting the name of the package, they're typo squatting the name of the author to make themselves look like Joel Verhagen, who is like on the NuGet team and is like a well-known person in the NuGet community. There may be something else in this article that I didn't catch yet, but this is absolutely something that this group should be reviewing and adding to our list of threats.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the tactics that's being discussed in the article. Actually, I mean, hell, that's actually a really good one too. That's one of the tactics being discussed here. They also have a few others that I think we may have addressed in the framework, but that one in particular, I know we don't have addressed, right? Like that could definitely be something that we account for in the framework. We can dive into that. Does anybody want to take? I mean, maybe a couple of us can take a look at that. Does anyone else want to get in on that? Taking a look at that article against the framework and seeing where we have gaps. Maybe we could fill those gaps with that kind of information in it. Does anybody else want to do that as well? 2 eyes, 3 eyes, 4 eyes are better than one on this one.
3 eyes.
3 eyes, 3 eyes. You gotta have that third eye. You have to have that third eye. Third eye got to always be open.
Yeah, so I guess we should maybe add this as an issue. I can create the issue. That way it's tracked. Let me do that right now.
It's really good stuff. And you know, I will say, you know, coming across these articles, we should, these articles are very important too, as we continue, like I said before, we're trying to, you know, fill out the explanatory report, get on into the pass process, but we also want to make sure that we're still, you know, tightening up, buttoning up the current framework, but also making sure that it's as complete as possible, right? That's extremely important. So as we come on this stuff, as we come upon this kind of stuff, you know, bring it before the SIG, even in email form, so that we can continue to put the work and where it needs to be, so that it's you know, usable, and there's nothing left. You know, well, there's always going to be something left. We can't count for everything all the time, but it should be in a continuous improvement cycle where there's always, you know, releases, always something new to it, right? And this could be the next release that says we're accounting for this additional scenario or this additional threat.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, that's what we have for the agenda. Aside from that, are there any questions around the past process, or any questions around the training stuff that's being completed with SKF? Do we have any desires to want to bring anything else up that we want to work on in this SIG pertaining to the framework? And Adrian just put up another issue.
Yeah, that's the one I just created, so that we can assess that article and see if we need to add to our list of known threats, and see if any net new requirements need to be created.
Outstanding. All right. Like I said, this is a real quick today. My agenda was pretty small. Jasmine, do you have anything?
No, I didn't have anything to add.
All right, cool. All right, that being the case, I can give everybody 35 minutes back, unless you guys want to sit here with me and just talk.
Boom. I'm hungry. I need to go get some food.
All right, good deal. Good deal. All right, guys, have a great day. See you guys all in a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.